From Storm Team 4, this is continuing coverage after Sandy.
At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, welcome back, everyone, as we continue our coverage of the aftermath of Sandy. I'm David Usher.
And I'm Contessa Brewer. As the day continues to unfold, we're getting more reports of the damage that this storm has caused, and it's massive. The death toll is also rising as every hour goes by.
The storm already being blamed for at least 22 deaths. That includes at least 10 in New York, 3 in New Jersey, and 2 in Connecticut. And that number is expected to rise. New
York City's public schools remain closed tomorrow, as do many schools in the region. In fact, Mayor Bloomberg says it could be 4 or 5 days before the city subway system is back up and running. Limited bus service is expected to return later this afternoon.
In New Jersey, Governor Christie calling the devastation along the Jersey Shore, quote, unthinkable. He says the recovery from Sandy's massive hit will likely take months.
Sandy just pounded the Jersey Shore. In Seaside Heights, the popular boardwalk is reduced to rubble, and all those amusement rides that we saw standing as Sandy was approaching are now in the Atlantic. Sandy's powerful storm surge swamped streets and homes, and we're told some flood victims actually had to swim up to the trees and hang on in order to be rescued.
There is big concern on Staten Island. In South Beach section of Staten Island, home after home was submerged. Cars were left in pools of water. Businesses washed out. As we've seen in so many other areas, many families had to be rescued from the high waters.
In Little Ferry, New Jersey, families are now being rescued from their flooded homes. Dozens of rescue crews converged on neighborhoods to help these storm victims. We've seen the elderly, the disabled, the very, very young, as you can see, all being piled into boats and being taken out of Little Ferry. And on that note, the Associated Press is reporting that a body has been pulled from the Hackensack River, a flooding victim there.
The airports around the area still closed. Take a look at this picture retweeted by NBC's Tom Costello, who covers aviation. That's at LaGuardia Airport, and you can see the walkway that passengers usually use to board the plane suspended above a washed-out tarmac. We've heard about the flooding on airport runways, and this really gives you an idea of how serious it is, at least at LaGuardia right now.
We're seeing incredible video from the U.S. Air Force. Of course, the National Guardsmen in New Jersey are helping folks who live here, families. And this is Seaside Heights, we're being told, of the video the Air Force got of home after home. And, you know, it's understandable that when we saw the police chief talking to Brian Thompson earlier, and he got choked up about losing his town, this is why.
Exactly. Yep. We're getting aerial views because our reporters, Bryn and Brian, kind of locked down where they were, and now you can see it with this aerial view. You can't move around too much. The chief has done his best. The chief who risked his life last night trying to rescue people, he estimated, what, Contessa, $8 million worth of damage? That's an early estimate on his part.
Well, he's guessing mostly, but he says just the boardwalk. We're not talking about the businesses lining the boardwalk that have been damaged. And all these families. I just wanted to mention something else. When you're looking at that level of devastation, David, imagine that repeated over and over again across the tri-state area, and how many contractors are available to go in and start doing demolition, to start doing rebuilding. It's going to be a long, hard slog before a lot of these families see their homes in any kind of semblance of livability.
And we should point out that video coming from the National Guardsmen, who are mobilizing, trying to get to people, trying to shore up the local resources.
Right.
As
Lives before property.
That's right.